As we head into 11.17, it's time we update you guys on the 10 new Korean builds you'll want to abuse for this patch. All these builds are either being played by the best Korean pro players or are having a ton of success in solo queue, while their overall play rates are quite low. But before we get into it, be sure to check out SkillCapped if you want to truly get better at League of Legends. We're the only service that offers a money-back guarantee if you don't climb at least 5 divisions while actively using our service. We do this because our service really does work, and if it doesn't work for you, you shouldn't pay. Learn more at the end of this video, or click the link in the description for a special discount. A new summoner spell combination is being spammed by Korean pro Nidalee on his Gwen top lane. Instead of Ignite with Teleport, Nidalee has been running Exhaust with TP to counter many meta matchups. He really likes the combination into Aurelia as it's a more difficult matchup, and having the Exhaust to cut down on her damage helps a ton. Nidalee has also been liking Exhaust into Renekton and Camille. The trend here is that all the champions he's running Exhaust into have strong mobility and can gap close onto you relatively easily. By running Exhaust, you limit their all-in potential and can turn the fight after they've blown their combo and dealt minimal damage. Ignite is still a great alternative on Gwen, but works best in lanes where the enemy lacks a gap close and is easier to kite. Full build for your Gwen is a Riftmaker Rush into Nashor 2nd and Cosmic Drive 3rd. Runepage is Conqueror with Presence of Mind, Alacrity, and Last Stand, run Bone Plating and Unflinching for secondaries. A new snowbally heavy damage oriented Aatrox build has been popping up as of recent, which consists of a Serylda's Grudge as your second core item. As a spellcasting bruiser, Serylda's is super underrated on Aatrox for a few different reasons. The first is that you're getting an extra 20 ability haste, which combined with Gore Drinker gives you 40 on your mid-game spike. On top of this, the Armor Pen allows you to melt through your opponent's health bar. Serylda passive is a huge bonus as well. Whenever Aatrox hits the enemy with W or Q, he'll slow them, which then allows the second and third charge of his Q to hit way more reliably. So overall, we would definitely recommend you try out Serylda's in games where you're popping off early on. Sterak's is still a great second item alternative if you want more durability, but in this case, you would delay it until third. Core build is Gore Drinker into Grudge and then Sterak's. Your rune page will be Conqueror with Triumph, Tenacity, and Last Stand. Grab Resolve for secondaries, running Second Wind and Revitalize. Nidalee is coming off some great buffs from a few patches back and is being spammed a ton in Korean high elo. A new setup really flying under the radar revolves around a Luden's Tempest Rush into Horizon Focus 2nd. A big pro to this setup is that your poke from Q will hit extremely hard and make setting up at objectives and controlling vision extremely rewarding. Magic Pen from Luden's will make those long-range Qs hit harder, while the extra mana allows you to spam them out repeatedly in fights. The Night Harvester build will offer some more durability and make diving into fights a little easier, whereas the Luden's playstyle will set you up as a long-range sniper. Stat-wise, Luden's wins about 1% more than Night Harvester, so they're very comparable in that regard. The complete full build is Luden's Rush into Horizon Focus 2nd and either Rabadon's or Zanya's 3rd. Pick up Dark Harvest as your keystone so your long-range snipes are even more lethal. Follow with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Best secondary page is Transcendence and Water Walking. Shaco is back in the solo queue meta thanks to his bug fix changes, and a new bruiser setup is popping off right now. Koreans are seeing the most success with a Gore Drinker Rush into Essence Reaver 2nd and the Collector 3rd. Gore and ER as core items have been extremely popular on Xin Zhao over the past few months, and Shaco players are starting to abuse it too. All the health and sustain from Gore Drinker feels really nice as it gives you the ability to play more aggressive and not be blown up with a positional mistake. When playing against other bruisers or tankier compositions, this build gives Shaco way more viability. The cooldown on Gore Drinker active is 15 seconds and is reduced with haste, which offers great sustain throughout extended fights. Shaco's burst power is still very respectable due to the Essence Reaver, while the Gore Drinker allows him to be more of a consistent threat. Rune page will be Hail of Blades with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Relentless Hunter. Roll with Triumph and Alacrity for secondaries. The Ghost Blade buffs are really great for a few assassin picks, and one you'll want to be picking it up on is Qiyana. Ghost Blade build path will become so much better as Riot is swapping out Pickaxe in exchange for Caulfields. The Dirk plus Caulfields combination will allow you to stack longswords and not have to run out of base stuck on 700 gold because of Pickaxe. Yomu's will also cost 100 gold less, provide 5 less AD, but now offer 15 ability haste. All in all, great changes that will make Ghostblade an optimal second or third purchase. The item combo of Prowlers and Ghostblade will be super nuts for Qiyana, as her pick potential will be amazing. You've got the move speed from the active of Ghostblade to run down the enemy, and then the gap close from Prowlers, which will make finding those catches so easy. Since Serpent's Fang is being nerfed, it will indirectly make Youmuu's an even more valuable second purchase. Your rune page will be Electrocute with Sudden Impact, Eyeball Collector, and Ravenous Hunter. Grab Precision secondary, opting for Presence of Mind and Last Stand. Korean pro Showmaker has been experimenting with a very unique build on his Azir. Instead of rushing a mythic item, he's delaying it until third and rushing a Nashor's Tooth into Cosmic Drive. Third item in the build is a Rift Maker, so it's all about being able to dish out lots of DPS throughout extended fights. The health from Cosmic Drive and Rift Maker are really nice to provide you with some extra durability. The most popular Azir build of Liandry's into Nashor's and Zanya's offers no health at all. This leaves you with little margin for error, and since Azir is already a difficult champion in the first place, opting for a more durable build will suit the average Azir player so much better. Instead of running Comet, which is quite popular amongst Azir players, Showmaker prioritizes Conqueror. Conqueror ties into the theme of consistent damage output very well, as you have the ramping adaptive force and healing. Follow with Presence of Mind, Alacrity, and Coup de Grace for primary runes. Best secondary page is Mana Flow Band and Transcendence. There haven't been many new ADC builds popping up as of recent, so we've just got one to share with you guys today. A very solo queue-esque setup for Aphelios Korean pro Viper has been abusing consists of Gale Force Rush into the Collector second. For the longest time, most Aphelios players would default to Kraken into Hurricane as the core build, but that's starting to change. Gale and Collector offer way more outplay potential and single target burst. Against dive champions with skill shots, this build helps Aphelios a ton, as he can dash away and then turn to mow down his target after they miss their spells. Kraken and Hurricane is great for extended grouped up team fights, but unless you're playing against a super tanky comp, those kind of fights don't happen very often in solo queue, especially in games where you need to fend off an enemy Zed or Katarina. Opting for this single target setup will allow you to see much more success. The complete build is Gale Force Rush, the Collector second, and Infinity Edge third. Instead of the more popular Conqueror, Viper has been running Lethal Tempo as the keystone. Without Hurricane, you'll lack some attack speed, so running Lethal Tempo helps make up for that. Presence of Mind, Bloodline, and Cut Down round out primary runes. For secondaries, grab Taste of Blood and Ravenous Hunter. We already went into detail as to why Qiyana will be great with Ghostblade, and another champ that you'll want to abuse it on is Pyke. Since Pyke's a support and lacks the gold income of solo laners, the change from pickaxe to Caulfields is even more impactful. Stacking those longswords will feel so nice and make the build path 10 times better. Youmuu's is already a pretty solid purchase on Pyke, as he loves the out-of-combat move speed from the passive and active move speed as well. Addition of Haste is great, as it will allow you to look for pick plays more often with ult on a shorter cooldown. There are many places you could look to slot Ghostblade into your build path. Umbral Rush into Prowler's Claw, and then Ghostblade third will be very strong. You can also rush Prowlers into Ghostblade second and then Umbral third to provide yourself with insane pick at 2 items. The rune page will be Halo Blades with Cheap Shot, Zombie Ward, and Ultimate Hunter. For secondaries, grab Resolve with Bone Plating and Unflinching. A build for Thresh that so many players are sleeping on right now consists of grabbing a Redemption second. Redemption was just buffed in 11.16 as the cooldown on the active dropped by 30 seconds and the heal was slightly increased. Your playmaking potential and ability to look for aggressive pick plays is so great with Redemption. A lot of pros are liking Shirelias as a rush item, and with this combination, you have the ability to pull the trigger and look for picks way more reliably. You pop the Shirelias active to hunt down your target, and once you're in the fight, throw down Redemption active to make your skirmish power insanely strong. This is definitely the build we would recommend when you're snowballing early on. The standard setup of Locket into Zeke's isn't bad by any means, but you're limited with how aggro you can play. Best rune page is Guardian with Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Unflinching. Secondaries are Biscuits and Time Warp Tonic from Inspiration. And the final build we have for you guys today is one for Poppy support that does an amazing job at shutting down meta picks. Guardian will be your keystone and Locket the rush item. All the shielding you have will make it extremely difficult for dive support like Pyke, Alistar, or Leona to single out your carries. It's not just the shielding either, as Poppy W blocks mobility spells, which makes her especially strong into Leona, who has played so much in solo queue. You have numerous ways to keep your carries safe from aggro dive supports, which makes Poppy a very strong situational counterpick. The complete core build is Locket Rush into Thornmail second and Anathema's Chains third. Guardian is followed by Font of Life, Bone Plating, and Unflinching for primary runes, Run Biscuits, and Cosmic Insight for secondaries. Alright guys, before we wrap this up, let's tell you a little bit more about SkillCapped. So we offer a 5-division rank up guarantee, and think that's a pretty crazy thing to offer. It's like a gym membership guaranteeing you'll get ripped. Your local gym would go bust if they offer that, right? Not us. We've offered this for years because our service really does work. It works so well, in fact, that we're able to produce by far the largest catalog of premium league guides on the internet. We add over 20 videos a week with over 1,600 guides curated into over 100 courses no one can compare. We've also sent challenger players into Elo Hell 714 times and counting, where they commentate how to carry live. They also respond to all questions asked. Sign up today for as little as $4.99 a month if you're serious about improving. So that's going to round everything out for this one. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.